Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
A weekly podcast and YouTube channel where we discuss all things Wrexham.
So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in.
Hello and welcome to episode 190 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
You good?
Yeah, I'm a bit tired though.
Why is that then?
Because we went to the gym this morning.
I know. I've been going to the gym. Siân decided to join me this morning. How did you find it?
All right, I'm just trying to strengthen my hip, really. Well, the muscles around my hip after the operation. So, yeah, it was all right. I need a nap though now. I didn't sleep very well last night.
No.
So,
Is that worried about going to the gym?
No, because I just could have said no. As you all know, we do record on a Sunday, and today is St. David's Day. So if you're watching this on the day it comes out, yesterday was St. David's Day. So happy St. David's Day to all our Welsh-ees.
Welshies? Well, to anyone.
Well, yeah.
Anyone.
Our honorary Welsh people as well.
Yeah.
In America, Canada, well, all over the world, really, wherever you are. So, yeah, happy St. David's Day.
Yeah, definitely. Look, to all the people watching us on YouTube, if you're not subscribed, but you find that you keep coming back to us, or if you're new and you like what you see, then subscribe, like the video. Massively helps us out. We're on our way to 2,000 subscribers. We're really hoping to get there at some point this year. That would be really good. So if you are watching, you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button for us.
And share it with your friends.
Share it with everyone.
Share it with your friends.
If you're listening as a podcast, then why not leave us a 5-star review? If you're on Apple, Spotify, doesn't matter what platform you're on. If you can, leave us a 5-star review because that draws more people in. And again, that helps us out. We're also on social media at Me The Wife Pod, or you can email us methewife and WrexhamAFC at gmail.com. What is coming up on this week's show?
Okay, so we talk about our midweek game against Portsmouth and our Saturday trip to London to play Charlton Athletic. We also talk about the women's team grabbing some silverware and closing the gap at the top of the league. Ryan's Welsh Word of the Week. And we look ahead at our 5th round FA Cup fixture against the Blues, Chelsea, and also the Quills.
The cop I wanted to touch on first and foremost, that we've seen a few videos. The cop is starting to take shape, isn't it? So we've had quite a big sort of black structure with McLaren printed on it, and they're basically just protective walls. We couldn't really see anything other than these black sort of protective walls. We knew they were starting on the sort of main central area, the sort of where the lifts / elevators, wherever you are in the world, and stairwells and things like that were going to be. But that's starting to take shape now. It's sort of flying up. Now we can actually see something. Are you getting a little bit more excited for when it's finished?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big focal point of Wrexham. You know, like the old police station was.
Yes.
And the swimming baths are.
Yeah.
I just think that, you know, if you come off the bypass, you're going to see it, and it's just going to be an iconic building, I think. So, yeah, I am really looking forward to it. I am looking forward to seeing, you know, what it's like. How it's going to look in the landscape and all that. Yeah, I am really excited. And the fact that when we walk to the games...
We walk past it every time.
We will walk past it and it'll be like, yeah. So, yeah, I'm really excited. And it's, it won't, not too... Well, it doesn't feel it'll soon be here when it's all up and open.
It will. They're hoping to get fans in January 2027. Seems like ages away, but you've got to remember that is fans sitting in there for a game. It's going to be ready quite a while before that, so we are going to start to see a lot of movement on the Cop. So keep your eyes peeled. We'll give you updates as and when we have them. But yeah, I'm excited. Even though we're not really going to get the benefit of it, we're just going to get to look at it.
But I think what we could do, because obviously we get our season... Yeah, no, I'm not sure how it will work, actually, because we get our season ticket reserves for, like, cup games. But yeah, it would be nice to just sit in it for a cup game.
Yeah.
But my dad's planning on, if they do season tickets in there, I don't even know how it's going to work.
No.
My dad's hoping to get one.
Yeah.
So maybe one day I could just say to my mum, you go and sit in my seat and I'll go in with dad or
maybe.
something. Or my mum.
Yeah, look, it is worth mentioning. We're gonna go on and move on and talk about the women's team now. It is worth mentioning we've got a slightly different setup today, so we're not 100% sure how it's going to work. It's mainly audio, so the audio's slightly different, mainly because of like firmware and software updates. So if it has gone the wrong way and it's been slightly detrimental to the sound, we apologise and we'll put it back and we'll get it back as it should be for next week, or it might be better. And thumbs up, great, everyone's happy, but we're a little unsure of how it sort of looks at the moment, so it's all sounds, should I say. Look, let's talk about the women's team. Look, we purposely didn't mention the women last week, and for any regular listeners, they will understand this, but for anyone who is slightly new, because we still get messages saying, why don't you talk about the women's team? We purposely didn't mention them last week, even though they were playing in the cup final. So it was the Gennaro Adran Trophy final against Cardiff last week. The reason we didn't mention it is because, as with a lot of the women's games, it is sandwiched in between quite an awkward time for us. We record early-ish, relatively early on a Sunday. The game was on Sunday afternoon. Our podcast is released on a Monday, sort of afternoon/evening or morning, depending where you are in the world. So when we recorded, we knew the game was coming up, but it felt a bit strange to wish them good luck because the podcast wasn't coming out until Monday, 6 p.m, when the game would have been over 24 hours before that.
Yeah.
We obviously couldn't talk about the result because the game hadn't happened yet. So we sort of took the decision to not mention it at all, hope and no one would get too sort of like, oh, well, why haven't you mentioned this? And then talk about it this week. So that's the reason for anybody who doesn't know. But they won the Gennaro Adran Trophy. They beat Cardiff on penalties. Cardiff were very much a sort of nemesis for the women's team for a while. They couldn't seem to get over the hurdle of beating them, but they seem to have found a way to beat them with the current squad that they've got. The game ended 2-2. They were 2-1 down, about 10 minutes to go. Frances Jones equalised with an absolute stunner. I've just got to shout her out a little bit. It was her first game for Wrexham. She had not met her teammates, not played with her teammates, not trained with her teammates. She came in, she was thrown right in the deep end, scored an equaliser right at the end with 10 minutes to go, which took the game to penalties. Faynox scored the winning penalty. And obviously that's the first trophy under Jenny Sugarman, and it is the first time of us winning that trophy in our history as well of the women's team. All round, it was a great performance. I did feel at one point that the game had slipped away a little bit, and 10 minutes, just over 10 minutes to go, you're 2-1 down. Cup final, you do start to wonder, has this gone? But a great equaliser, right at the end of the game, took it to penalties, win on penalties. It's just fantastic for the women's team. And congratulations from us, obviously, for winning that. For anyone associated with the women's team who actually listens to this, and
I'm
then
not sure there is anyone.
We don't know, but they then on Saturday, just gone, they went and beat Cardiff 3-1.
Cardiff for living.
I know, in the league. So that was Faye Knox and Katie Barker scored 2 in that. So they've now closed the gap to 1 point on Cardiff. So Wrexham women sit in second place, closed the gap to 1 point, and they have a game in hand.
We can do this, girls.
I think they're very much in a position where you sort of feel like they could do the double this season. They could win the league and win the cup, which would be absolutely amazing. So good luck on that one. But they're doing great.
They are doing great. Fair play. Is that because we've got Jenny Sugarman?
I don't know really, but lots of changes, obviously, around the sort of playing staff. Do you know what I mean? So there's lots of new players that have come in.
Yep.
I've obviously strengthened the women's team. They've gone on and they've won this trophy for the first time in their history, which is amazing. They're looking really good position wise, in the league. Could go top by winning that game in hand. Look, it's all rosy at the moment for the women, so good luck for the rest of the season. We will obviously talk about the women as and when we can on future episodes, but felt it was only right to talk about them right at the start of the show today because it's such an amazing achievement for the women. Back onto the men. Let's bring it down a level. So that's obviously really good news. Let's start with some bad news for the men. So Ben Sheaf is out for the season. Medial ligament injury. Big blow, I would say.
100% a big blow.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, we'd already lost Matty James.
Which was a blow.
Which was a blow, central defensive midfielder, to then go and lose another central defensive midfielder and for him to be out for the season before Matty's actually back. Yeah, it felt like a huge blow. I would say, though, when we signed Ben, we sort of knew he was made of glass a little bit. He was,
He's done so well. Let's get to this point, though.
Yeah, he has had a little injury here and there, but this is the first one where, he's now going to be out for a few months. It is a big blow, but I think we as fans and probably Parky as a manager knew what he was signing and knew about the potential for injury problems when we signed him. How do you feel about sort of like the club? He'd had his injury worries and problems before we signed him. Is it always a risk, do you think, that we sign a player like that? Or do you always go, look, he's available, we have to take the chance because he's such a good player? Or what would you like to see moving forward? Is it a case of going, look, maybe in the future we need to stay away from players like this who do have these ongoing injury worries? Or is it you've always got to take a chance when it's a good player?
Yeah, I think in kind of Ben Sheaf's instance, I think when he's played for us, he's been phenomenal. So yeah, I think in his instance, I think sometimes you can take a punt and it doesn't quite
work out.
Doesn't quite work out. But I think in Ben Sheaf's kind of situation, I think Parky had to make the punt, and I as much as it, he's injured for the rest of the season, he sort of helped us to get to this point, and hopefully Matty James will be back soon. So we kind of get that midfield back again.
We have obviously got We've got cover.
midfield.
We've got
We do.
Dobbo. You can sit in there. Lewis O'Brien can sit in there. Ollie can sit in there if need be. I would argue, Zach Viner as well, who's come in, can play in that position. That's not what we signed him for, but he is versatile and he can play in that position if needed.
He's needed.
Yeah, but I suppose it's an injury elsewhere that is causing the problem, really, because we do have another central midfielder who can play as a defensive midfielder, who we've currently got playing at left back.
Because Kakache's
injured. So,
yeah.
George Thomason's obviously deployed elsewhere at the moment, and doing very well where he is. So it's quite difficult to drag him there. You could argue Longman could play over on the left, but I don't know. It is a bit of a... It's sort of a hard one to take, especially when you've got two injuries in the same position. I find that, if one of them goes, it's fine, you've got cover. As soon as two of them go, you feel like you stretch a little bit thin. But let's switch it anyway.
Yes.
More positive.
Yeah, so last week, I think it was late on last week, actually, George Dobson and Ollie Rathbone both signed until the end of the 27-28 season. Not sure if you've seen the videos, but it's just, there's a picture of them.
Yeah,
have you seen he's standing with his arm on his shoulder? It's like they've just signed their wedding register, and they're posing for photos. And also Ollie Rathbone walked in with Rex's head on him.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
do you know what? Ollie Rathbone and George Dobson, I think they're brilliant. I just think their character's great. They give it 100% on the pitch. People are like calling Dobson out at the moment. I saw a few comments on Saturday or after Saturday's game about Dobson, saying that he's out of his depth and stuff like that. And I just feel like
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree.
No.
And I mean, nobody can take anything away from Rathbone. My God, he's just, since coming back from injury. And I just think, can you imagine if Rathbone had been there from the beginning of the season? Where would we be now?
Yeah, I
know we're in a good position, but I think we'd be even better position.
Potentially, you just don't know, do you? You look at it, such fine margins, and you look back at some of the results, and you think back to your Sheffield Wednesday at home, where we let a 2-goal lead slip against a team that are bottom of the table.
Yeah.
Your West Brom at home, where we lost that 1-3-2. And you just wonder whether, the odd few extra points here and there, and, we're even more comfortably in the playoffs. But look, I'm really happy about them two re-signing.
Yeah, I love them both.
Yeah, 100%. I agree totally. Love them both. I think they both give everything when they're on there. And I couldn't be happier about
there
them
was
too.
Sorry to interrupt you, but there was also, I need to say it before I forget it. There was another video of them. They were on the pitch. I think they'd just done the video where they signed, and George Dobson was doing really glad to be signing, and then at the end, Ollie peeks his head, go, and me. It's just, you can just imagine them two being really mischievous.
Yeah,
they kind of seem to have that personality, which is great. But yeah, I'm really chuffed that they've re-signed.
I think it just adds to everyone's perception of how good a dressing room we've got as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And I imagine them two are, big factors in that dressing room. That they seem really positive. Give everything, and for me, that's what Phil demands.
Yeah,
and them two, in my opinion, he definitely gets that from them. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. Look, a bit of admin. So our match away at Watford, which was due to be on Saturday, which has now obviously been postponed because of our game in the FA Cup. That will now take place on Tuesday, March the 17th. That'll be a 7:45 p.m. kickoff in the UK. So make of that if you will. You're annoying me with your texts coming through because I keep hearing your
I don't
phone.
understand why they are. My phone's on silent.
I don't know. Can I throw it out the window?
No.
Because I keep hearing it ding.
It's Nigel from work wishing Alan a happy St. David's Day.
I'm
sorry.
Oh, God. Shall we get into...
Welsh word of the week. 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 I'm not doing it this week because you shouted at me last week.
No.
Do you know what? We've had lots of messages from people.
There's a reason we've got that before you say what you're about to say. There is a reason why we're playing that. And the reason we are playing that is because of the messages that we have got in.
Yeah. People have spoken.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for me, they voted or they've said that they prefer my jingle. So it looks like that's going to be...
That's staying at the moment. Unless anybody wants to have a crack at it and people will vote for that over yours, then at the moment it's staying with you.
Have you got any messages regarding?
No.
No, you haven't.
No.
I was just going to, yeah. So we did have one message and basically it said that it was Jay from New York.
Yeah.
And he's basically said that he felt that ours was... or mine was organic. It wasn't like, it was absolutely off the cuff.
Yeah.
I didn't plan to do that or anything. And he said that's what makes it so brilliant. So, so thank you for that, Jay. And thank you for everyone who's messaging saying that they like it. And we did have a message from Tam actually saying that she empathises with, and I just replied back, yes, my dulcet tones. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
So thanks. It's nice to be loved.
Look, this week's Welsh word of the week is, would you like to have a crack?
Circas.
It's circus.
I hate Welsh words.
Wow, on
No,
St. David's Day, you're saying I hate Welsh words.
I didn't say I hate the Welsh, because obviously I am Welsh.
You said I hate Welsh words.
Yes, because they're so difficult.
Circus.
You went with the one that I said then.
Yeah, I did, yes.
Do you know what? Before he says this Welsh word of the week, I said this. He said, what Welsh word should we have this week? And I went, what this word is? And he was like, yeah, no, I don't like that.
I couldn't think of anything else, so I went with it. Circus. Come on, say it.
Circus.
Circus.
I think you can guess what it is.
You can probably guess what it is. Circus is circus in Welsh. Obviously, the Nathan Jones, Charlton manager, he called Wrexham a circus because of all of the media, all of the hype surrounding Rob and Ryan. This was last season, and
we never forget, though, Nathan Jones.
We never forget. So this week's Welsh word of the week is circus. So learn it. Use it in a sentence. Just throw it in. Why not? Look, let's talk about Portsmouth. So that was Tuesday night.
Yep.
Arthur's 100th league game.
Yep.
So well done to Arthur. 3 changes from the Ipswich game. Dobson in for, obviously, the injured Ben Sheaf. Broadhead came in for Rathbone, and Smith was in for Moore. Very much a game of two halves Tuesday.
We have a lot of these games at the moment.
We do seem to, don't we? And I wonder if it is something we're either... Like, you think back to QPR, we were atrocious in the first half. Mm-hmm. Second half could not fault us. We were brilliant, energy levels, pressing, attacking football, brilliant. First half, awful. And then you have a game where we're brilliant in the first half and we sort of tail off in the second half. I do always wonder, is that all down to us or is it down to the opposition? When we went to QPR, for example, have they gone, right, okay, we come quick out the blocks, we go at them, we push them back, we put them under pressure, we try and score early, which they did. and then, do that. But perhaps in that game they expel so much energy being on us from the start that they tail off a little bit in the second half. We up our game in the second half, and that's why that happens.
Yeah.
And maybe similar sort of thing, for the Portsmouth game, Parky goes, right, quick out the blocks, press them. Let's get early goals. Let's put them under pressure, and then you expel a lot of energy, and perhaps you drop off a little bit in the second half. Their manager gets them into the dressing room and goes, right, come on, let's lift it, and them things combined, perhaps that's why you sort of get that.
Yeah.
But you couldn't have got more of a game of two halves, really. I felt like we were very much on top in that first half.
Yeah.
On Tuesday night. Sam put us 1-0 up with a great header, 23 minutes. And it was a brilliant header. He got up so well, directed it perfectly. Keeper couldn't get to it. I was very impressed with that header, and I think I said it at the time. If you had to choose right now, okay, there is a game in 5 minutes, and you are picking the team, okay? Everybody is fit. Who do you put up front now? Do you put Sam Smith up front, or do you put Kiefer Moore up front?
Now, this very much depends on the opposition.
Okay, good answer. That's a very good answer to start off. Yes, okay.
I don't think. I mean, what's the height of Kiefer? Because I know that
6'5", I think.
And I think that Sam Smith isn't far off that. I'm sure that's what I read.
I think he's about 6.
No.
6'1". Yeah, he's not. He's no bigger than that.
Yeah. I mean that sort of decision is very much. And
I would argue Sam's 5'11", but from what I visually, if you said to me how tall Sam, I'd say about 5'11", 6. But he might be 6'1". But so he is a good 4 inches, I think, smaller than Kiefer.
So, yeah, I go back to my point. Although you're saying make the decision now, I would very much have to look at the opposition.
Okay, so
their defence.
So what would sway your decision one way or another?
Well, if we've got like a really burly, big guy.
Okay, so like a very tall defence.
In defence, sorry.
Yeah.
Then Kiefer Moore.
Okay.
But if we've got someone more Sam Smith side.
Yeah.
Then I would...
Oh, okay, let me argue this. I would say most central defenders are 6'1"-ish plus, I would say, in this league. So that's what you're looking at, I would say. So any other factors that you'd want to factor in other than the height of the centre-backs? Speed. I would.
And I think Sam Smith has that speed over Kiefer.
Yeah, I think Sam's very much somebody who you could put, when you're playing with Kiefer, you're playing the ball into Kiefer, and I would say he's probably stronger than Sam. He can bring the ball in and he can shield it very well, better than Sam can, and bring other players into that sort of passage of attack. With Sam, I think he's very much somebody who you could put the ball over the top and he could spin in behind and sort of use a little bit of pace. I don't think he's the fastest, but I probably agree he's faster than Kiefer.
Yeah.
And we did that a little bit on Tuesday night. We were putting balls in behind a little bit more into the channels as opposed to over the top down the middle, for Sam to spin round and sort of go and chase after, which he did very well on occasions. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like you've still answered the question. Just forget about who the opposition is. Let's say that the opposition are
all right, Sam Smith.
You'd go with Sam over Kiefer.
Yeah.
So explain why.
The reason why is because I feel like, I don't know, and people are probably going to come for me, but I don't care.
Who's coming for you?
I don't know. The doctor. I just feel like with Kiefer, sorry, I just feel sometimes he lets the ball people are wanting him to get the ball so he can do what he does and stuff like that, which he does superbly. But I just feel like he makes silly mistakes sometimes.
Okay.
Which, and I feel like a striker of his experience and calibre, he shouldn't be making those mistakes.
Okay, I think it's a very difficult question to answer.
It is. That's why I said it depends on the opposition.
Yeah, it does. But I think for me, I think it's nice that Sam's made that step.
Yeah.
That we have an option and we don't have to just keep, putting Kiefer out there, like some old horse that is tired, that you're just working
younger
into.
Than us, so
yeah,
less of the
course
olds.
He is. I just mean like that you're putting into the field to work into the ground. Do you know what I mean? Week in, week out, because there's times when he does look tired.
Yeah.
Kiefer, for obvious reasons, he's been asked to do some very physical work up front. It's not just a case of, standing there waiting for the ball to come. It's a lot of, jumping for aerial battles, constantly shielding off defenders. He is being asked to do some quite heavy lifting when it comes to that. I think for me, if I was being pushed, I really like Sam. I do. And I think, that he has made that step up from League One to the Championship. He's come with some vital goals for us this season. And, but I think if they're both fully fit, the way that we play, I'd probably go Kiefer over Sam. But I'm not saying you're wrong. I think it is very close at the moment. And I'm just really happy that we're able to rotate the two around, that we get to see them both, that we get something a little bit different each time.
Yeah.
That they both play.
Yeah.
So yeah, a very difficult question. Let us know in the comments who you prefer, Sam Smith, Kiefer Moore. Does it change week by week? Let us know what you think.
Yeah, dependent on the opposition.
100%. Yeah. I feel like I say 100% a lot. I've noticed that. I've caught myself saying 100% all the time. But I'm not
the first time I've heard you saying it, to be fair.
Max puts 2-0 up 5 minutes before half time. So be honest, I'm asking you all the difficult questions. But did you think when Max put us 2-0 up, did you think that was job done? Okay, job done. We are the better team here. We're 2-0 up. Half time's on the horizon. We're nearly there. Did you think job done at that point?
No.
Why?
Because I've seen enough games to know that if an opposing team is doing badly in the first half, 99% of the time they will do better in the second. So I knew that. We were up in ahead in the before the second half, but I just felt like they were gonna get something.
I think I'd flip it the other way. For me, I've watched years and years and years of football, but
Doesn't make you any better than me.
I never said it did.
Some people think that.
Some people definitely think that,
Yeah.
but no, I definitely felt their league position, the way that they were playing, the way that we were playing, when that second one went in, I felt like we could go and get 3 or 4. That's how I felt. And I'm not saying it was necessarily job done, but I did feel we were well in control and we would push on in that second half. But second half was very much it felt backs to the wall. It felt like we were we were the team that were sort of down towards the bottom. They were the team that were in or around the playoffs pushing.
Yeah.
And I think the pressure felt even more amplified because they pulled one back within 5 minutes of the restart for the second half. Arthur was a bit unlucky with that. It took a huge deflection. He went one way and it sort of just looped over his head a little bit. They had 11 corners in the second half. It just felt like it was corner. It was just constant.
It was.
In contrast, we had one. That gives you an idea of how much we were attacking in that second half. Despite all the pressure, though, Ollie hit the post, so he nearly made it 3 for us. But it was just a real nail biter towards the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, when I went to work on Monday just gone, Monday last week, I was talking to one of the guys there, and I just said to him, I said, I thought
Wednesday, you mean? The game was Tuesday.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, Wednesday. My Christ.
I wondered what you were about to say then. The game was Wednesday. So when you went into it,
no, the game was Tuesday.
Oh my God! You're drawing me in now.
When I went to work on Wednesday, I said I thought we'd thrown it away in the
Could you see them equalising?
Yeah.
I could as well.
And to be fair to them, they weren't far off. It just so happens that we've got a superb goalkeeper that they didn't, and I just think, and I think the amount of corners that they had was just ridiculous, and the fact that they couldn't get anything from those corners.
We've done really well. I think Dom Hyam coming in has really sort of, for me, has really galvanised that defence. He is a captain, he is a leader, and he's making sure Callum and Max are playing. All together, they're a unit and they defend really well. I think it was me and my dad, or me and Alfie, were sort of saying, while they were getting all these corners, look, one of these is going to pay off for them at some point, because that's how it feels. When a team gets
that's how it usually goes.
Exactly. But it didn't. Look, it ended 2-1. Another 3 points.
Another correct prediction for me.
Another correct prediction for Siân. Yes, I went 2-0. You went 2-1. So at half time I was right, but by full time you were right.
Which is all that matters.
Yes, you keep telling me. Look, Max was man of the match. Do you think he's turned a corner now? Because we sort of felt like Max his form had drifted away from him a little bit over sort of recent weeks. Maybe since the new year. He wasn't quite playing as well as he had done in the first half of the season. Do you think that was important for him?
Yes.
And do you think he's sort of turned a corner now, and we're starting to see the old Max back again?
I think until our I'm going to say our next league game. I'm not going to include the Chelsea game, because that's a bit of a
anomaly.
Anomaly, that's the word. So I think I'm gonna save judgment.
Okay.
But I definitely 100% think that goal has definitely kind of upped his confidence again. I think for whatever reason, I'm not sure what it was, because he was playing superbly, wasn't he? And then all of a sudden it sort of maybe too much turkey at Christmas, maybe, who knows. But I just think that I think I'm going to save judgment on that. Until our next league game against Hull.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to but I do definitely think that goal on Saturday has definitely done something to help him, I think. For me, I couldn't care how many he scores. I couldn't care if he doesn't score any for the rest of the season. That's not what he's there for.
No, but you are quite right. Something like that can definitely build a little bit of confidence in you, especially when you're not expected to go and score goals. But as long as he's doing his job defensively, that's all that really matters to me. So look, on to Saturday, Charlton Athletic, two changes. Parky rotating his sort of attacking options again. Rathbone came back in for Windass. Moore came back in for Smith. Talking about Moore and Smith, I found Kiefer a little bit ineffective on the game on Saturday. That doesn't mean I agree with what you said. I just felt like on Saturday he was a little bit ineffective, but I just felt like they crowded him out a little bit, which can happen from time to time, because they know how dangerous he is in the air and how good he is at holding the ball up. He can get sort of like tag teamed a little bit and sort of crowded out of games, but that's just the way it is. We didn't go to the game.
I'm actually really gutted we didn't go now.
We went last season, obviously, to the Valley. We were there for the 2-2 draw. We've spoke about this on numerous occasions. We would love to go to every away game, but we're not able to do that. So we're trying to sort of pick grounds that maybe we haven't been to in previous seasons. It's great that we're in a new league because we've got lots of clubs to choose from.
Yeah.
Although that means that a game like Charlton, you sort of go, we went there last season, so we've got to try and pick and choose quite carefully. Look, it was a fairly even first half, I thought. Charlton 100% should have gone in front. Harry Clark practically missed an open goal. Ball came across to him. Arthur was going one way.
Yeah.
He put it the other way. It was from about 6 yards out, and he put it really wide of the post, 3-4 yards past the post. And like I say, it was practically an open goal. And then we basically went up the other end. Ball in to Ollie Rathbone. He sort of lobbed it up with his right, hit it with his left, right in the corner. Wasn't the cleanest of strikes, but it, did the job. Keeper scrambled for it, couldn't get there. Yet another goal for Ollie Rathbone. That's 7 he's got this season. It took him 3 years to score that amount for Rotherham. He scored 15 for us in 18 months.
Well,
so it's definitely something he's got in his locker that maybe wasn't being unlocked at Rotherham, but he's certainly unlocking it for us.
I think with Ollie Rathbone, I said this to my dad, and I don't know whether anyone will agree with me, but like my dad said that he is absolutely superb. And my dad really likes Ollie Rathbone. He thinks he's a brilliant player. For me, I said to my dad, it feels like, even though he's not a striker, that's not his role. I feel like he's sort of how Paul Mullen was for us. It was exciting, getting goals.
Yeah, I think probably I would go along the lines of key goals at key moments.
Yeah, which is very Paul Mullen-esque, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I just think, I mean, I just can't say anything bad about Rathbone because I absolutely love him.
No.
I do want him to have my children. More children.
More, yeah. He can have the one we've got. Can he?
No.
No, okay.
He's yours, mate. You can't get rid of him that easy.
Look,
I would never, though.
No.
I love you. And Ollie Rathbone's probably a bit too young for me.
Yeah, just a touch.
Yeah.
Look, 1-0 at half time. It's another one. Look, Lewis O'Brien should have made it 2-0 in the second half. Ball across by Kiefer. It falls to Lewis in the middle. Keeper's going one way, very similar to the Harry Clark one in the first half. Keeper's going one way. He puts it the other way, and the defender scrambles and manages to block it. I think maybe if Lewis lifted it a little bit, I think that was 2-0, and it was probably game done. Towards the end of the game, it felt like they had 6 strikers on. I think they definitely had 3 recognised strikers on there. Lyndon Dykes was on there. Charlie Kelman was on there. They had Carey on there, who's quite an attacking sort of midfield. They had quite a lot of...
Does that show desperation?
Oh yeah, of course it does. You know, because they're fighting and they're trying to win points. They're down the bottom of the league, so just throw everything at it. Lyndon Dykes always worries me because he's a very strong player. He has scored against us before. Last season, he was at Birmingham and he scored the equaliser at the Racecourse, Ollie Rathbone scored the first one in that one as well. Lyndon Dykes scored the equaliser. He's now at Charlton. He's big, strong, powerful player. Doesn't get bags and bags of goals, but can certainly score. So it always worries me a little bit when he's on there.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest of shout outs to Arthur for that save right at the end. Right at the end, I think it was Carey had the shot from the edge of the box. Don't think he could have done very much better with it. Arthur come through a crowd of players and just a superb save to push it round the post. Big, strong arm, down to his right-hand side. That was their only shot on target in the whole game. So it says a lot for a goalkeeper who you have to be... He's had to stay alert for a full 90 minutes, not really doing very much. And he's made his first and only, but a huge save in the 90th minute to rescue a win for us. That, for me, was as big as Ollie's goal in actually sort of securing them. But it was the second nail-biter of the week, wasn't it?
It was.
Another nail-biter. We're winning, but we're not playing well.
That is very much a theme of Wrexham, because it felt like we did that in League One, League Two. And so, we're carrying on the tradition in the Championship. So
we touched on this during our live after the game against Charlton, where I said, look, we're not playing well, but we're winning. So what is there? How do you analyse that? Do you sort of go, look, all of the best teams find a way to win, even when they're not playing well?
Yeah.
So you have to take that as a positive. Or do you sort of go, look, we're not playing well. It is a little bit of a concern because we're playing teams that are in and around the relegation area. So without being disrespectful to either of the teams we played last week, perhaps you should be able to let your level dip a little bit and still be able to get points out of that because of the teams that you're playing. So you could argue if we were playing teams that were in the top 6, we could have potentially come out of this week with no points playing the way that we had. So is it a concern we're not playing well, or is it a positive that we're not playing well and still picking up points?
I think it is a positive. But you saying about us playing, the bottom half of the table, I just think the Championship is so tight. I don't think you can underestimate teams that are, you are going to get the odd team that's like, you're there for a reason. But I just think there are other teams that are there just due to a couple of bad games. Yeah, potentially. A bit of bad luck. But yes, we would rather win with 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever goals, ahead of the other team. But I think the fact that we've got 3 points, I've seen so many people on social media moaning about, such and such didn't play very well, such and such didn't play very well. But why are we moaning about a win? Well, I don't understand people. It's like, we've won, we've got another 3 points we've got 6 points in 1 week.
Yeah.
So, what's there to moan about?
Yeah.
We're 6th in the Championship.
But perhaps, playing devil's advocate, perhaps that is coming from what I just said a little bit, going, yes, we've won, but we're not playing well. And when we do come up against a better team, the likes of Hull, who we are playing, Southampton, who we're playing very soon. I'll come on to them in a second. Or Coventry, we still got to play away. Middlesbrough, who are coming to the Racecourse towards the end of the season. You can't
last game of the season, I think, isn't it? Middlesbrough.
So you can't get away with not playing well and expect something from them. So I think that's perhaps where the frustration comes from online, going, yeah, okay, we've got 6 points, but we do need to to put it right that we're not playing well, because when we come up against the better teams, that potentially we might need something. We do need something from these teams. You need your Ipswich performances and your Sheffield United performances and your second half against QPR performances to turn these teams over. You can't play like you did in the second half against Portsmouth or in the second half against Charlton and expect to go and get something out of these games, because they're the sort of teams that will put 2, 3, 4 past you if you're not on your game.
The question for you then.
Okay.
Do you think that we play, because personally I think we do, do we, if we're down going into the dressing room at half time, do you think that we tend to play better when we're up against it? I feel like we do, and I think that's why.
Possibly.
There's a number of games during the season that we've been going into the dressing room at half time. Not we. I'd love to go in there, but no, not me. I sound like a right perv, don't I?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm joking. I'm just a very old lady. Yeah, I feel like when they're going into the dressing room and they're down by even just one goal, or even going in 0-0, I feel like something is turned on, and they come out and they fight. And I know it shouldn't be that way. We should be fighting from the moment the first whistle goes to the final whistle, and that's how it should be. Yeah,
I do feel that is, but I think that's very much an athlete's mentality of going, I'm not letting this happen.
No,
I am going to turn this on. This is my job, and I'm going to do this. And sometimes you need a little bit of a slap in the face to unlock that. At the same time, one thing that I think we are missing as a team is a killer instinct. That when we are 1 or 2 up, that to me should unlock the exact same thing within you as being 1-0 down, where you go, right, we're in a great position now to go and kill this game off, to get 3, to get 4, to get 5, and really put people to the sword. And I think perhaps if I was being critical, which it feels really wrong doing that in a week where we've just picked up 6 points, but I think if we could unlock that killer instinct in as a collective team, that to me is almost as, if not more important than the ability to turn it on when we're down. You know, to have that killer instinct to go and just absolutely obliterate teams when we get, you know, they give us a head start, so that teams know, you give us 1-2 goal head start, we are going to turn it on even more, and we're going to dial it up and turn it up to 11, and we're going to pound you into the ground. That for me is what's missing.
Yeah.
But that's been hypercritical in a week where we've
6 points, baby.
We've got 6 points. Wrexham AFC tweeted after the game, which I found very funny. And they basically just said, you can't beat the travelling circus.
Do you know what would have been better at the end of that?
What?
Picture of a clown or something.
Yeah, no,
or
they just put a wink face, didn't they? Did you have a man of the match for Saturday?
I'm gonna. Do you know what? As much as it's easy to say Rathbone because he scored the goal, and I'd love to give it to Rathbone every week. Yeah. Just realised how that sounded. I'm gonna have to. It's a toss-up for me between O'Brien and Doyle.
Rathbone.
No, Doyle. Okay. I don't know what it is about him, but he just. And people may disagree with me, but I really don't care. I just think Doyle is.
I think for me it was probably Dom Hyam on Saturday. I thought he was superb. I thought he marshalled defence excellently. Very good captain's performance, and I thought he was very good on Saturday. That's just me, but there we go. Look, three league wins in a row. We stay 6th on 57 points. We're 4 clear of, I previously mentioned, Southampton. In 7th, who've won 5 of their last 6 league games. At the moment. The other one they drew. So, out of 18 points, they have picked up 16. They look like the team who are on the charge at the moment. Yep. And if anybody is going to take that 6th spot off us, they're the ones that in my mind are the ones that are coming for it. And we play them on the 6th of April at home, which could potentially be a huge game, for the actual, that final playoff place. They are 4 points ahead of us at the moment. If it stays like that, or the gap sort of closes a little bit.
They're not 4 points ahead of us.
We're 4 points ahead of them.
You said they're 4 points ahead of us.
So that's one to keep an eye out for. Quick fantasy EFL update. I am absolutely gutted. I missed the deadline for changing my team this week. I'm furious about it, but there we go.
Before you say this name,
yes,
we have got some suggestions.
Oh, right, okay.
From...
Shall I go back? I'll go backwards while you get them.
Yes.
So in third is Ben Parker, still, on 2,385. Ian is still in second on 2,466. And in first on 2,479, just 13 points ahead of Ian, is...
Archibald Wilcox.
Archibald. I like that.
Thank you for those, Roy. We will be using those because I think Ryan's running out of names now.
Yeah, certainly off the top of my head, because I always forget.
We've got a list.
Oh, we will be using them, Roy.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't worry about that. Look, one game coming up this week, and it's a big one.
It is a big one. So it is our FA Cup 5th round game at home at the Racecourse.
You can do the first page. As there's only one game, you do the first page. I'll do the second page, and then we'll see how.
Are all the hard names on the other page?
Possibly.
Yeah, that's good. So our 5th round fixture against Chelsea is on Saturday, the 7th of March, at the unusual time of 5:45. My legs are killing me.
You haven't mentioned, but for anyone watching on YouTube, you should sort of point out you've got a very scruffy looking penguin hot water bottle.
Yeah, I'm a bit cold, so I've got my hot water bottle.
Yeah.
I was trying to hide it, but it's got yellow feet, so you probably can't. Anyway,
look, at the time of recording, there's something in these notes that I'll just step in and say. We can't give you their league position because it won't be relevant at the time that you listen. They actually play Arsenal on Sunday at 4:30, which is obviously after we record. So where they are in the league is very much dependent on the 2:00 games and their game against Arsenal. So I think the best thing to say is they're in the Premier League. They're up near the top.
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
So they have a game midweek away at Aston Villa. They also, obviously, like as Ryan said, they play Arsenal today, which is Sunday. Yesterday for you. They also play PSG on Tuesday, the 11th of March. So I think you've said this a number of times. You're expecting a few changes from whoever the manager is.
I think so. Yeah. Obviously, they've got a big game against Arsenal. That's followed up with a big game away at Aston Villa. Yeah. Villa are in or around third at the moment. Chelsea are up towards that. They're fighting for European places, trying to get as high up in the league as they can. So Arsenal, that'll be a ferocious, game. The game against Villa, exactly the same. And then after the FA Cup game, to play Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League, a huge game for them. Lots of prestige, lots of money in the Champions League. How much are they putting on this game? Are they banking on practically their reserves being able to go out and win it for them? We don't know, but I expect a few changes. Yes.
Yeah, we'll see. They beat Hull 4-0 away in the 4th round of the FA Cup. Pre-Arsenal, they had won 2, drawn 2 and lost 1 in their last 5. So that's a mix of league games, FA Cup games and League Cup games and
Yeah, they've won 4 out of their 5 league games, of their last 5 league games in all competitions. This will be their 3rd away game in a row in this year's FA Cup. We last played them in a pre-season friendly in July 2024 when we drew 2-2 at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. We also lost 5-0 to them in North Carolina the year before that in another friendly. Last competitive game was in 1982 when we won 1-0 in Division 2. John Neal, who we obviously mentioned last week, managed both Wrexham and Chelsea in his time. Joey Jones, Mickey Thomas, Eddie Niedzwiecki all played for Wrexham and Chelsea as well. So there's a lot of connections in there. Their top scorer is João Pedro with 11. They've been FA Cup winners on 8 separate occasions, the last one in 2018. And they are also the current Club World Cup holders. They beat PSG in the final of that in the summer of 2025.
So I'm assuming they want to keep that run going with PSG, don't they? And they want to,
yeah. Prediction, Sian.
Well, here we go.
I'm going mad, so.
Ah, yeah. Oh, I'm not. I'm going 1-1. Penalties. Wrexham win on penalties.
That is disgusting. That is exactly what I was going to do.
Why did you say you were going to go mad then?
Because I feel like a draw is a bit mad.
You can't. Let's.
I'll go 2-2 then.
Okay, on pens.
I do want it noted that I was going to do 1-1 as well, though.
Whatever.
That's what I want noted, please. Thank you.
You still won't win though.
Yeah, whatever. Look, if you would like to support the show, you can do it in a few different ways. Like and subscribe if you are watching on YouTube. It's completely free and it really helps us out. If you enjoy this as a podcast, why not leave us a 5-star review on whatever platform you listen on? You can super chat us. That is on our YouTube lives that we do after every game. We're live on YouTube, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, you hit the bell, and you'll get a notification whenever we go live. Because it's FA Cup weekend, we will be live before and after the game against Chelsea. So roughly an hour and 15 minutes before kickoff. And then about 5-10 minutes after the final whistle, we'll be live on YouTube. So please join us. Huge shout out to Steve Barton, who super chatted us this week on our YouTube live after the Charlton game. You can also buy us a coffee, and you do that by visiting buymeacoffee.com/me-the-wife. Thank you very much to Marcus, and we're really sorry about this. I can't remember if it's Leela or Lila. I'm going to plump for one. I'm going to say Leela.
I feel like it's Lila.
Oh, God.
I feel like
You've
it's
thrown
Lila.
a third one.
No, I do feel like it's Lila.
Marcus, please get in touch and let us know. Because we feel really bad that we can't remember. We saw it written down and it just messed with our heads and we went, oh, we don't know which one it is.
I reckon it's Lila.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well,
I quite like the name Lila anyway. It's nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
Also, before you move on to this bit, you can also hype our videos. Ryan always forgets this. You can hype our videos if you
are here as well.
Yeah, well, I getting a word in edgeways. It's like cracking nuts. I don't know why I said that. Yeah, so I think you go on to, you know how to do it though, because I can't remember. You click on our logo.
While you're watching the video.
Yeah.
Right, while you're watching the video, underneath the video, on the left-hand side, you'll see our logo. Don't click like that, as Sian just said. Look across that line. Okay. That is where you like a video, all that sort of stuff. Keep going across until you see the word hype. Click hype and then confirm it at the bottom of the screen, and that is how you hype a video. You can do it 3 times. Huge appreciation to you if you could do it 3 times. It puts us higher in the hype chart. More people get engaged with the video, and then we get more viewers and hopefully more subscribers and so on and so forth. Look, if you do want to contact the show, comment on this video if you are watching on YouTube. You can click contact the show at the bottom of the description if you are listening as a podcast. Find us on social media at @MeTheWifePod, or you can email us, methewife and wrexhamafc@gmail.com. Quick shout out for Dragon Chat before we do the quiz. It's a mental health peer support group. They run 2 weekly Zoom calls. One is on a Monday at 8 p.m. and that is for women. The other is on Thursday at 7 p.m. and that's for men. The best way to get on these calls, go to the Wrexham AFC website, go to the communities tab, scroll to health and you'll find Dragon Chat in there. All the details are also in the description of this and every episode that we have ever done on YouTube.
All 180, 90, 190.
Quiz time.
Yay.
Quiz this week is a Chelsea quiz.
Oh, get lost.
Well, it felt pertinent.
Well, yeah, but I don't know anything about Chelsea.
Yeah, but it's Chelsea/Wrexham related, so you know.
Well, don't know anything about that either.
Question 1. Wrexham last played Chelsea on the 25th of July 2024 when we drew 2-2 in a pre-season friendly in Santa Clara. I will show you a list of Wrexham players. I want you to pick out one of the scorers on that day. Okay? Do you want me to read them out so everyone can hear?
If you want to.
Okay. Ryan Barnett, Tom O'Connor, Seb Revon, Ollie Palmer, James Jones, Jack Marriott, Luke Bolton, Jordan Davis, Andy Cannon, George Evans.
I have no clue because I cannot remember. I'm going to go Ollie Palmer.
Ollie Palmer is wrong. It was Luke Bolton and Jack Marriott who scored in that game.
I was going to say Jack Marriott as well.
You didn't know?
No, I know, but I saw his name, but I thought,
but
he's doing really well at the moment. He is.
He is, yeah. Question 2. In the first minute of that very game, Chelsea's Levi Colwill, and which Wrexham player clashed and had to be separated by numerous teammates? No options.
Paul Mullen.
No, it was, of course
it was.
James McLean, who had a little bit of fisticuffs and had to be separated. Thought you'd remembered that.
Yes,
if I'm perfectly honest.
I do remember it now.
Well, yeah, because I've just shown you a picture of it. Question 3. It's a listening test, this one, because it's already been mentioned roughly about 6-7 minutes ago. Who is Chelsea's top scorer this season?
Lay. Is he the one with the big hair? No.
No, that's Mark Cucurella you're thinking of. He's a left back.
I can't remember.
I knew you wouldn't. That's why I put it in, just to prove to the world that when I speak, you don't listen. It is João Pedro.
Oh, that's what I was trying to think and I couldn't.
João Pedro scored 11 for them this season. Question 4. How much have Chelsea spent this season on new signings? By this season, I obviously mean the summer transfer window and the January transfer window. Okay. Is it 127 million, 199 million, 297 million, or 350 million?
297.
297. That is correct. They have spent 297 million on 9 players.
Yeah.
Question 5. Is that your first one? First
Yes.
one, right? Yeah. Question 5. How many goals have Chelsea scored this season in all competitions? Slight caveat. This season does not include the Club World Cup in the summer.
And also the game against Arsenal today.
And obviously the game
if they
against
score
Arsenal
any goal,
today.
yeah.
So the Club World Cup is not included. This is from the start of the season. Okay. Is it 55, 65, 75, or 85?
75.
75?
I reckon it's like 65, isn't it?
Well, you can change your mind if you want.
No, because if I go 65 and it's only 75, just 75.
It's not, it's 85. They have scored 85 goals so far this season.
I got one right.
You got one right. Do you want to know how many goals we've scored this season in all competitions? I tell you what, no options. Have a guess.
Not that many.
Correct.
64.
It's very close. It's 67. Not
Do
bad.
I get a point for that?
For getting it wrong? No, you don't. That wasn't even a question. It was just something I
Why have you got it there then?
Why have I got it there? Because usually what happens...
Because I go, how many have we
How many have we scored, Brian? And then I thought, I'm chucking that right at the end, just in case you actually ask that. Look, thank you very much for joining us this week. As I mentioned before, we will be live outside the racecourse an hour and 15 minutes before the Chelsea game on Saturday. Enjoy your week.
I'm going for a nap now.
Yeah, enjoy your week, guys. And we will see you next weekend. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.